大家好. Welcome to Think Double Click. I'm really excited to be here and excited to see such a great turnout today. So, I've been in this role for about 8 weeks. My learning curve is like that, or probably a little bit more like that. It's been a fantastic experience so far. I've been keeping loose track of the questions that have been asked to me over that period. I've got a rough top 10. I thought I'd share 3 of them with you today. The first question, most popular question I get asked is, why did you come to China? And it's often asked in this incredulous tone, which kind of surprises me. China's a place rich in history and culture. It's extraordinarily entrepreneurial, which is very appealing to me. And there's a tremendous amount of change. So that's all good. But I'm based in Shanghai, and people tell me, yeah, but our traffic's terrible. The weather's awful. Don't even get me started on the metro and the air quality. And I say, well, hold on a minute. I lived in London, a city which I love, for 20 years. Your traffic is at least on roads built for cars rather than horses and carts. Your metro, or perhaps I should say now our metro, is air-conditioned, which is a major improvement over anything in London. Never speak to an Englishman about the weather. I was here in Shanghai on the weekend in shorts and a t-shirt, and I can't remember the last time I did that in October in England. And the air quality isn't as bad as fear makes it, and actually no different to what I saw in London just a few short years ago. So really, it's all good. Another question I get is Google still here? And as you might imagine, this is a little bit worrying. But I think we undersell ourselves a little bit. For sure, as a consumer, search and YouTube doesn't have the presence here that it has in other markets. I get that. But let me just give you a little bit of an insight in terms of China's contribution to Google and Google's commitment to China from a software engineering perspective. Here we are at Think Double Click. And I can tell you that today, a lot of our search and display ad innovation, a lot of our platform innovation, actually takes place right here in Shanghai. With a little bit of irony, I can tell you that a lot of our next generation search technology is developed out of Beijing. And if I broaden the scope slightly to talk about Greater China, then I can tell you that our Chrome and Chromebook innovation is almost exclusively led out of our office in Taipei. And so there's already a very strong bond between Google and China in that sense. And then I think I undersell Google's contribution to the broader Chinese community. Thousands upon thousands of advertisers and publishers use Google's technology day by day to improve their businesses, either growing their export markets or in serving their domestic consumers. And that's something that we certainly hope to build on. Google's here for the very, very long term. Another question I get is, what's your strategy? I have a young but talented member of my team here in Shanghai who asks me pretty much every week. It's only been 8 weeks. I'm still learning so much. So before I come down with a fully baked strategy, I want to make sure that I understand everything fully, or at least as fully as I can, before we start to make some pretty bold bets. But I can tell you one thing. DoubleClick will be a foundational part of that strategy. If you look at where Google's strengths lie, I would like to say it's in our people and it's in our technology. And certainly the DoubleClick suite of products is state-of-the-art, was before Google purchased the company and has been ever since. If I talk a little bit about DoubleClick, Google acquired DoubleClick back in 2008, and yet that brand still remains within Google's portfolio of products. But why? Google is the second most loved brand worldwide, according to a recent survey, and that's great. But the truth is, DoubleClick existed before Google. And before Google, DoubleClick was known for reliability, for accuracy, for integrity, and for innovation. And all of those things add to and are complementary to the Google brand. And that's why DoubleClick continues to thrive. Any DoubleClick customer worldwide knows they're getting the very best ad technology. So a very brief bit about strategy and a very brief bit about DoubleClick. Let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm new here. Many of you have not met me before. I hope to rectify that over the course of today. You heard me in the opening video rather haltingly refer to my Chinese name, Beaumont. That was something that one of my closest friends within Google, who is Chinese, helped me with. We wanted to find a name that was close to my English name in terms of how it was pronounced, but also something conveyed a little bit about me. And she's worked with me for 4.5 years. And the characters Beaumont relate to the building of alliances or relationships for mutual benefit. And for me, that's something of a life's mission. My job in Google before I came to China was to build some of our largest and most creative and innovative partnerships and relationships with our publisher partners in Northern Europe, relationships that will stand the test of time. And it's that passion that I hope to bring here to this market and to the teams already interacting with you. Sure, stone, I was a little bit more nervous about. Does it not imply a harshness? Does it not imply an unwillingness to bend? And if there's anything we know about the relationships that we develop through life, if we don't bend and we don't find compromise, then it becomes harder to maintain that relationship over time. But in my time here, I've come to appreciate two things. One is that stone is durable. The second thing is that it can build very, very strong foundations. Now, in the conversations I've had, and even the ones that began with, is Google still here? There have been two things which have been huge positives for me. One has been, almost universally, people have said, we'd like to work with you more. How can we work with you more? The second thing is the clear esteem in which the brand is held, the trust and integrity behind the brand. And I think those two things create a fantastic foundation for us. So if today the challenge is to think double-click, I would like you throughout the day to think about two things. Is what you're hearing about today providing you a sight of those doors that you can open to work with us more fully? And secondly, how can the reliability, the accuracy, the integrity, the innovation behind the DoubleClick's products become a foundation or a foundational part of your own strategies as you look to succeed in the market? 期待着与你们合作，谢谢。